Good night, everyone. So, I'll try to be concise now and raise several issues, not supremely important, but as you know, for me, as I said many times, this is also a scientific diary. But first, let's speak about the site. I'm going to start a site very soon, and I've decided to start without too much effort, because in any case, the artwork, if it's going to be sold, it all depends on the Israelis, because they can just, block the internet and so on. But other than that, it depends on the, people that, know about me, that they have eyes and hands and legs in the intelligence community of this world. And such people will not really need, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but a very, static site, and even with a lot of content, it's not going to really, I think at that point will be deep, it's not going to be very important for them if they decide to purchase my paintings. Of course, I do want my site to be, as I said, aesthetic and full of knowledge and full of a narrative that will connect both. My message in, of course, in very short version of it, and also the nature of myself, the nature of the Neros, and a narrative that connects everything that I deal with in the last couple of years and more. But it can be an iterative process, and it doesn't need to be all at once. Also, I'm not going to initially just offer anything explicitly. Maybe I'm wrong in that, and if so, correct me, or please enlighten me or advise me. But I'm more than willing to get advice on such matters, like financial matters, or sales matters, marketing matters. But I think that for start, I will just show the photographs, show the paintings by categories, and perhaps add very few words, very small amount of words, and add my email, and if someone wants something, they can just send me a mail. I think there aren't that many paintings, we are speaking about several dozens, maybe 40, 50. So if someone wants something, they can just send me the mail. Now, correct me if I think I'm wrong, and if it will be very hazardous to start a site that way. Of course, taking into account the special conditions of myself and my art. And for starters, not to use eBay, not to use auctions, even though it's possible to. Should not be too difficult to add auction mechanism even to my own site using plugins and so. But no, just show the paintings, and if someone wants something, they can contact me by mail. That's the plan, the simple plan. And of course, later I will also add the slides, but first I need to get the slides from my mother's apartment and get a microscope and the camera, and this requires more work, and I'm under arrest, so I'm limited in what I can and cannot do. The paintings are themselves, if you ask, are all in my mother's apartment, rolled, the canvases are rolled, like a rug, and that's the way I think they should be transported. It's the best way for many reasons, without frame, and I hope she will soon, transport all of them, all the paintings to here, well, that's my home now, this hostel, and so they will be always near me. I don't get out, so it's not really, you shouldn't really think too much about people breaking in, so and I have the key to my room, so that's about it. So there shouldn't be a problem to send them the paintings anywhere in the world by, of course, secured mail as much as possible. Of course, everything is, I mean, only if and the Israelis will comply with that, because they can sabotage everything. Okay, so that's the plan. Now regarding like issues that are on my mind. So first, a question which is actually pretty trivial, but I don't know the answer to this question. So actually, by now I still don't know what do you mean when you say, in our context, of course, like ty or just ti or just t. What is t? I mean, you always use it, and I still don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, perhaps embarrassing, but you need to understand it, and I've said it many times, even in the past. Like, I mean, like relative distant past, like 2 or 3 years ago, like that. I mean, many times my world of references and metaphors and symbols is different than yours. So I mean, things that look like I mean, incredibly, I mean, trivial to you might be totally off the radar for me. Like, I have several things that that I think T can symbolize, but I'm almost 100% certain that it's none of them. Those references are the one that you use, or the meaning that you use. Like, first of all, I mean, T could have, I mean, it could be like, arguably you can say that T is just a titan or titaness, but because, I mean, it shows it shows, I mean, itself. I mean, you use it a lot in our context, and titan is a key, like, word, I mean, key term in my terminology. So, but I mean, it doesn't make sense from how you use it. I mean, so, like, the semantics doesn't compile. Like, it's semantically wrong. I mean, that you refer to like a person, a titan. So no, it's not a titan, even though, I mean, theoretically, I mean, it could make sense, but no. So another thing, T symbolizes the end, even death, or certainly destruction, or the end of the road. T lies like a street without exit, and this is something that is used a lot, but I don't think that's what you mean. Again, because it doesn't sits well with I mean, semantically, with how we use it many times. T can also mean, I mean, tia, like and. I mean, you know that I speak Spanish. I mean, I unfortunately I lost most of it because I just don't use it for many years now. But I think I will be able to regain it. I mean, if I will again, like, I mean, read Spanish literature, and I mean, perhaps live in an environment where there are Spanish speaking people. But I mean, tia is very, I mean, very simple word, like very common word. And so why aunt is actually important, because this goes back to the mythology that all the titans, like the titan females, are in a way sisters, which is, I mean, it really, I mean, it's your own mythology. It's not my, I mean, my mythology, I mean, titans were sisters, actually, all. But I mean, the way that you use it, like a Venush woman, no, I mean, it's part of your mythology that they are sisters, and I don't really understand why. Maybe like they are nuns, something like that, because they don't have, I don't know. But so, I mean, for a long time, and perhaps it's still like that, at least among some of my, like, people that, I mean, know about me and care, like, I mean, have stakes in this project that is my life. I mean, it was thought that I am like a second generation of titans. Like, supposedly my mother was one of them, and I'm like a little child, a little prince that, I mean, everybody is like taking care of, and, you know, guiding and advising, of course, and I mean, all those cruelties, like, I mean, this is all, I mean, this is, I mean, it should be, I mean, if you don't understand the cynicism, it should be stated very clearly. I mean, the project of guiding me or protecting me or advising me is the most cynical and disgusting like creation of the Israelis with help of other people like around the world that ever exist, perhaps ever existed. You advise a person while you electrify him, electrocute him without all his life. What should be said more than that? This is brutality. I don't need the advice. I need of your Nazi couples. I need to get out of the prison and stop the torture. But yeah, it was part of their mythology that they're like a group of sisters that and I'm the little prince, and maybe when I grow up, I will become a man, and perhaps even a man that is worthy of having like sex with one of them, because as we know, they live long time. So maybe after a while, when my apprenticeship will be over, when at the time of my youth, which can again last forever, under Israeli circumstances and American agreement. So 40 years or 39 years are not enough, because I know nothing. I don't even know how to dress like properly. Like, look, I don't have proper clothes. I don't know how people like dress themselves. It's not at all related to the fact that I'm poor and that I'm women. I don't have an apartment and my stuff is like all over the place. And if he does, why is he poor? Because he's a little princess, and millions and millions of dollars that are flowing to Israel for like decades are not enough to make him like, because he's all the money I spent on advisors, but the advisors it's not their fault that he keeps like being such an idiot, because he's he came from another planet, and he can't he doesn't understand like our this world. No matter how much you will guide him, it's like a bottomless barrel. And the Israelis put all their efforts in advising me, bringing me to the level of intelligence and morality of as advanced as their own, which is compatible with, of course, American values and wokeness and progressivism. But I refuse to understand, because I'm a hooga booga. I'm like a primitive Paleolithic person. I can't understand anything at all. The problem. Of course, the problem can be solved, not be solved, but temporarily be solved by getting more money from board, which will be used for more advices by the group of tias until no more money, and then no more money. And you understand how this works. This was, the reality of my life, at least from the age 20 until the last couple of years. And during the last couple of years, another like aspect was added, which is the aspect of me being like a farm animal that of course is not good enough to raise his own children, and not even for sex, and not certainly not don't even speak about, don't be funny, don't speak about marriage and like relationships. Come on, man. Cut the bullshit. You know your limitations, and it's cute, but you've tried it already and you've seen what happens. So yeah, but we need this sperm, so please milk it and give it to us for free, and we will create babies, and our pedophiles and homosexual daddies will bring them like fine, bring up fine, and of course they will, when time comes. We only need the girls, not the boys. But we don't really need to throw the boys to denial like it was done in the past. These were dark times. Today, from the first, we have doctors that are expert in Israel. Israel is the kingdom, the undisputed kingdom of like fertility treatment, so, and everything is related to it, and everything is government sponsored. Well beyond everything that anyone else is doing around the world. So yeah, the doctors will take care of that. You will only have daughters. Not that you need to think about it too much, because you will not going even to know about it. You're just a farm animal. You're not even going to see the females that are impregnated by the sperm. You're the little prince. You are clueless but cute, and you have also like funny remarks about life, like it's not a hat, it's just it's a snake that have eaten like an elephant or something. How cute, cutie, give us the semen, give us the sperm, and keep being so cute and poor. That's the way we like it. So yes, we will take care of that. Only females will be born, and of course they will have wonderful daddies, the best of the best, progressive and modern, and of course with jobs, government jobs. The daddies, the pedophiles and the homosexuals will take care of your. It's not, they are not really your daughters. It's made of your semen, but they are not their daughters. They are the daughters of the state. And when they are coming of age in Kraida, when they will come of age, they will also be slaves, which is their proper destiny. So yeah, under this mythology, which is extremely common, not only in Israel, but also abroad, they are all my aunties. And I'm the little prince. Of course, I was born on 1984. And it's impossible for a Titan to be born on 1984 on the planet Earth. But of course, that could be only this little problem, or it's not even a problem. It's just a minor discrepancy. It can easily be solved. First of all, who can say? Did you really? Who can say that? Do you know when you were born? You know that everything is. It's IDs are fake, and births. All the intelligence agencies of the world, and of course also the Israeli intelligence, they are all experts on manufacturing life stories and biographies. So we don't really know when you were born. You're obviously young, very young, because you're so stupid, and even compared to the standard of Titan males, which that we know that they were all very stupid. That's why we killed them all with the Israelis. So back on the 70s, but even compared to them, you're pretty stupid. So you're probably very young, and someone told you that you were born here and there. Yeah. So fucking what? Or perhaps there is another explanation, which is very common, that you are actually a woman, a girl. You are the little princess. You are Elsa or Anna. How cute! And you change your sex because it's something that can be done on humans as well, but also on Titans, even more easily, as you know. So that's what you've done, and I've spoken about this lunacy and idiocracy in the past. But it was also very common, the idea that I'm actually a woman. Me, yeah, that's me. I thought maybe they must show you, I don't know what, nothing can be shown to this is all ridiculous, but it's part of the mythology, which is very common in Israel and abroad. And in any case, a very common theme is the fact that I am actually the Titaness. Titan females are actually my aunties. What a cute story. And the torture is only, leitmotif, like a Wagnerian leitmotif in the cuteness of this opera. So this can also be Tia, but no, I don't think that you use it that way. So what's the real answer? I don't know. Maybe something related to the Israeli famous coffee, which of course is, actually I don't even know what coffee means, but I do know, I understood very quickly that it's something that is related to the Israeli cannibalism, that the way that they eat our flesh and blood and semen and whatever, literally eat our babies. And so you don't need to know more than that, to know that you just don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything, crazy monsters. Just let me go. Let me and my daughters go. Leave this hell. So that was one subject. Tea, the meaning of tea. Another subject, and it will be a huge leap now, because it's a huge leap, a change of not only of subject, but of materia, or sphere of knowledge and even tone of discourse. But I speak about what's on my mind. And so there is the issue of P. There is tea, coffee, and P. You always like to speak about, not as much as you like to speak about tea, and not as much as Israelis speak about coffee, but you also, the other intelligence communities, they speak about P. So what's P? But that's not the question, because P can just be P. But there is my own P, which is actually something that, I need to, as you understand, as you remember, probably there is a question of how you utilize the P, because it contains neurons. In a P much more than, it's much easier to generate P than semen. I'm not fancy of the, I don't really like to work on masturbating, but and the thing, it's not mutually exclusive. You can masturbate, get the sperm and do the processes, and also, use P in order not to waste the many neurons that exist in the P and are kind of wasted. But the problem is that the P is much, the volume of P is much larger than that of semen, and although it stinks. And pretty quickly, I feel just whole battles, and I don't know what to do with it. Besides, several specific functions that I've spoken about in the past. But the question is, what's the best way to even just try to actually reduce the volume of the P, and save the nanobots in order to use it, in many ways, but actually just reduce the volume. Of course, the easiest, way would be to boil it. It's a classical way, but I'm not sure they will stand the heat. So you can actually change pressure in order to change the boiling temperature. Specifically, you can reduce the pressure. For example, that, many times water temperature inside the tubes in a car, just a regular, internal combustion engine car. So the temperature exceeds 100 degrees. It shouldn't, mostly, it should be something around 90 Celsius, but sometimes it exceeds 100 Celsius. Momentarily, or even, for length. And it could create problems, but in any case, they are not all becoming steam, immediately as you expect, water to behave, for example, when they are on a electric pot, water heater. So of course, the pressure is higher and boiling point is higher. So you can reduce pressure. That's the way they do it. When people want to, for example, kill the germs in orange juice, which is manufactured in factories, processed or somewhat processed orange juice, or other citrus fruits. So they want to kill the germs, but they don't want to boil it. Actually, 70 Celsius should be enough, but even 70 Celsius could greatly harm the taste of the juice, and specifically the texture, which is very important in orange juice and citrus fruits. So they do it in a vacuum or close to vacuum chambers, and then you can actually boil it in a much lower temperature. But the question is, how do I do it when I'm under arrest and I'm almost nothing or close to nothing? This is really a MacGyver question. Not only science question, but MacGyver question. If you remember the guy from the 80s. I wonder why they didn't reboot it or remake it yet, or maybe they haven't heard about it, but because they remake everything, so why not MacGyver? So anyway, I think that this program, TV show was loved in Israel more than like on average in the world, because I mean that's the fantasy of Israelis, like create a lot with like nothing. It can sound noble, but actually it's part of their, it's part of the way of just everything is creating shortcuts all the time and doing everything like for a very short term. But yeah, I mean, I have nothing. I'm and the rest I can get out. I hope it's someday my mother will, deliver me some stuff. Some of my stuff from her apartment that will help me to do a little more, but not much more. So how, under those circumstances, I can at least even try or create experiment that will guide me, show me the way to use P by removing, as much as possible, the unnecessary material from the P, which actually we don't really know what it is, because it's not certain that it's identical to you, like Homo sapiens P, but I want to simply, maybe the answer is very complicated, but oversimplifying things, but just for the sake of, continuing from the very low place that I live in, like right now, I need a way to at least try or experiment with reducing the volume of the P. And of course, when I don't have the microscope, but when I get the microscope, it should be relatively easy to actually verify that they are alive. Some of them at least are alive after the process, whatever the process will be. Probably something to do with temperature and pressure, but not necessarily. Maybe there are like chemical solutions to this problem. So if anyone has any like smart input on the matter, I will gladly listen to any new direction or advice on the matter. Of course, using the P, the neurons on the P can greatly help me advance, because eventually we need nanobots in order to use the nanobots, and they come from my body, but masturbating 4, 5, or 6 times a day is something that I can do, but I don't really like. There is an upper limit of how much you actually enjoy it. So, and after maybe, I don't know, the third time is probably, after that it's probably something that is becoming really a chore and not fun at all. And anyway, P could help me get like the raw, I call them raw because even when they're outside the body, they can still grow and multiply, and I also deal with that. But let's start with, it's not start, but it will help. In any case, the methods are not mutually exclusive, as I said, and it will really help you to use the neurons in the P. Although if there is a way to eliminate the smell, it could also help me, because it smells like P. Now another issue is regarding the paintings. So 2 issues. I'll begin with the less important one. You know that for a long time, I always try to play, in my head with the idea of how do I create the paintings in a way that they will be materially different than other paintings. So it will be difficult to fake it. And you know that my aim was from the beginning to sell, tangible, material, not NFTs. NFTs were here even before, when I started. So it's not a new thing. And people always tell me maybe NFT, but it was part of my I was locked on oil and acrylic painting from a year and a half ago when I started. when I started like painting, and because I want to sell something that will have like that people will be able to, maybe it's, you could call it grandiosity, that I think of myself like as a Jesus figure, or at least a saint, or someone that but yes, you need to sympathize with my situation. Like, people all my life denied even the fact that I exist, and paint me in very different, like, they I am under like a huge pressure of a disinformation machine that always paints me as like a person that doesn't really exist, or exists in a very, like, disgusting and humiliating, like a humiliated life form. So from that point of view, you need to understand that, I want to sell, one of my motivations, strong motivations to sell tangible things like paintings, was even not the financial one, but just, so people will know that we can hold to something, and to say, okay, this guy that maybe the Israeli is modern, because I always, and I still do it. I'm like Inigo Montoya, sleep well, because tomorrow I'm going to kill you. That's how Israeli treat me all my life. So I say, okay, let's leave like something that people will say, okay, will be able to say, okay, he existed for he wasn't a retard because he painted something. So I've tried, there are the usual stuff of like blood and ashes from cigar, and that perhaps contain like remnants of like my body, and it's been done like more than a year and a half. But actually, even that can be faked. Everything can be faked, and who can fake better than you? Intelligence communities of the world. But recently, I saw that of another, like, I revisited the issue, and I thought, okay, but I can use the Neros to change oil paint, and I've actually already done it. But I didn't like, it's something that I did, like, I occupied myself with that, just before the arrest, for a couple of days, and there are several cans of paint with the Neros, in my mother's apartment, but cans and glasses. But I really appreciate if she can, if she can get it here. So maybe I will use it, because, or at least conduct microscopic experiment and then use it, because this could be. We know that they can create stuff in the oil, in the oil paint medium, but the oil itself can be changed by, certainly after enough time. So I thought maybe, okay, so it could be like a very interesting direction of like creating painting with the modified oil paint. Perhaps also this can also perhaps work with the acrylics, but it's easier with oil, because acrylics are dried very quickly relative to oil, very very quick in relation to, compared to oil. But still, you can put the Neros like inside the closed, like, tubes of the acrylic. So, but it's a little bit more complicated. But something to do. In any way, during the last couple of months, like I changed my direction to. I started like purely with acrylic, not exactly like only with acrylic. I also use other stuff, but mostly acrylic. And then I changed to acrylic with oil, and then to almost solely using oil alone. Just just preference. So for now, it would be oil. When I get the colors, it's all theoretical, because I have nothing like. It's all in my mother's apartment, and as you know, it's more important to sell what you already have. But yeah, it's part of the plan is to create, like, to paint with oil painting, that all like different colors and mixture of oils and mediums and solvents, and that were exposed to the Neros for a long time, like for maybe a week or 2 weeks, and to see how it goes. But most of I want to sell like things that I already have. So it's currently more important than thinking about future paintings. So I thought, if it's really a viable, like, if it turns out like an interesting and viable, like, option or artistic form of expression to use the modified oil paint in paintings. Maybe I can just add, like redo the signature on my existing paintings with the new material. This actually, since we discussed olive oil, this will also, it's not going to be very easy. It's going to be much more easier with acrylics, but with oil, you still need to to take the roll, like the rolled canvas, and to spread it, to stretch it over like a frame, and then do the autograph with the mixture of multiple paints, and then wait, and this can take at least a week. Depends. We should see. We should see how. One of the questions is what kind of consistency we would have, because the whole thing is, the whole idea is it's a new kind of paint, so we will see. Maybe it's quickly dry, maybe it never dries. I don't know. It's, of course, in many of the paintings, but all of them, I already used like a varnish, specific, a varnish which is specific to oil paints, which is called it's like a retouch varnish. And so, there are artistic and logistical consequences, even to just redo, the signature. Another option, which is similar, is to paint something or write something using the paint on the other side of the canvas. I don't know if it's a better one. So this will make it like more difficult, like, for me, because still, it means that I need to like redo all my paintings, or at least the ones that I want to do with the new material, but not redo everything, just the autograph. But still, it's something that should take time. But maybe it's worth it. Especially, we need to see. It's all theoretical because I don't have the actual oil cans with me. But if I have, and they are close, so they should be like, it should be a valid option to do it. And this paint will actually be, for sure, it will be different than the normal oil paint. Perhaps different in a way that is not easy or not even possible to replicate. So that's actually will be a nice way to make the paintings like fake proof, or at least more fake proof than before. So again, I will gladly accept like advice on the matter, specifically from the point of view of the customers, of potential customers. Like, who do you think, be like, do you want, is it for everyone that consider himself or herself a potential customers, what do you think about this feature, to put it bluntly? Now, the more important thing regarding the paintings and their like nature, special nature, and maybe I should have started with this, but okay, it's if it's here, like, from like logically, from the how I organize this video, but it's probably the most important subject. As you know, many of my paintings are actually flags, both color flags and black and white, and sometimes they are black, the US acrylic flag that was, this was shown in many videos that recorded in my room in my mother's apartment, which is like most of it, but not all of it, is covered with the black stain. And this, I've talked a lot about it in the past, and it's something that connects me to, my predecessors, because at least one of them also, maybe more than one, also, was occupied with paintings, and specifically of flags. So I would say that, as you know, the Earth is now under attack of You don't really know of what, but I can tell you that it's the Neros that take years, but not the Neros like in the nanobotic like meaning, but the other meaning, which is actually the one that I use much more frequently, like in the past, which is the spaceships, which are the spaceships, and perhaps they are actually, perhaps the nanobots and the spaceships are actually, I mean, related. I mean, not only by the visual design, but actually they might be related in other ways. But let's leave it for now because we want to discuss art. So yeah, you are under attack, and it's not his first time. I mean, it happened in the 70s, happened in the 90s, and the funded Israelis like are subjecting the world to, and I mean, you could have like speculated. I mean, by now the world will stop the Israelis from doing it, but I mean, the fact is that they don't, and yeah, but I don't want to repeat myself. You do your thing, Homo sapienses, and you know, ego or life, that's your choice. In any case, you do know, or at least some of you know from experience, that the flags help with it, with the consequences of the attack, that are, I mean, to put it bluntly, I mean, they are all concentrated in fertility, the issue of fertility, which is something that God likes. Such a text on fertility of wicked people is something that, I mean, it has several non-examples in the Bible, and I mean, and on other like cultures, like specifically like near what we call now Near East cultures, and probably not only Near East cultures, but these are famous examples that, I mean, at least from my experience, that I mean, of cultures that so like punishment on fertility on human fertility is something that is very on a tool, like as a tool that is very to the taste. I mean, it's to the taste of many gods. In our own context, it's actually even, I mean, the relevance, and I mean, the righteousness, like, I mean, of this tool is I mean, extremely, like, even more than like usually it's like it's in your face, like, because I mean, that's the essence of your crime, of Israel's crime, and also the rest of the world, that I mean, you don't want the Titans to multiply, to have sex, to have children, to raise their children. So of course, that, I mean, attack on fertility is something that Midah Keneged Midah, they say, like, I mean, very important divine concept, or divine like divine attribution of common punishment. That, I mean, when you do something, I mean, you are punished in a way that will be related, or even like almost identical to, I mean, what you've done, both you, like, as a person, and also as a nation. This is not new. I mean, not only from Genesis, but also from the history of the secret history of the 20th century. So again and again, yes, it's ongoing. And some of you know that the flags actually help on the matter. I'm certain that God will help me. I mean, let's rephrase it. God is not working for me. I'm working, I mean, for God. I'm not the other way around. God will do whatever He wants. But I ask God to help me as He helped my predecessors. Help me that, in a way that, the flags that will be published in the site, perhaps the mere, like, only the publication will help a little bit, just a little bit, with this course. Help in a way that, like, it will mitigate its effect. This, of course, should be said that, we're not going to deal with the whole, like, symbolic language of the flags, because I've done it in the past, but a very basic issue is, black and white or black and stained flags are not helping. It's common sense, but it's also, consistent with the symbolic language. Like, only flags that are drawn with the original colors are helping. And of course, with the help of God, I hope that further mitigation of this catastrophe would be demonstrated when the flags actually arrive on the territory of, their territory. Not territory, the territory that of the entity that, the flag that it's, that uses this particular flag as its flag. Or in other words, after I sell it. This will help me a lot. So I pray to God that it will be demonstrated, and then, in order that something like that already happened, in the 20th century. I don't have flags, like canvas flags of Israel that are painted with the, like, original colors. Only black and white and blackened flags. Just to say. Okay, so this is also an issue that, should have been discussed. Okay, I think I will stop here. This video is already quite long. I don't think that I will discuss energy tonight. Probably it will be postponed for tomorrow. But I need to hold this discussion because I don't want to, even though I don't really have a very, like, tangible, I don't have any tangible thing to show you, and my theories are just, they're, like, really, they are in the cradle. There's nothing really, nothing strong, like, nothing, but no, it's the science of the research of the way that neurons, like, use energy is just, it's cradle, and I don't have very, like, any systematic, and it's even not a systematic approach for the issue, just, all sort of, like, ideas, but the ideas are also important because, as I said, you need ideas, you need theories, even if much of it is discarded later. And I don't want I don't want to forget what I've already, thought about, especially since I'm probably not going to hold research on the matter soon, because I don't have the means at all, and I also want to concentrate on, as I said, the site and selling. I hope it will be possible. So, especially in light of that, I will probably want very soon to record my thoughts, so I will be able to get back to it later and continue from the same or from a similar point. Okay, that's it for now.